Let's study how to pass an array to a function as a function argument in C++. So in this program, let me delete those parts, just keep the array A, and then I want to call function 1, and then we want to pass the array A. Let's just try that first, and then we can define function 1. Then how do we define the function parameter? So A is name of the array. So remember, name of the array is the same as the address of the first element. So if you pass A, what you are passing is a address of the first element. When you define a function parameter, you need to declare a variable to receive such value. So we are receiving address of a first element, which is integer. So we are receiving address of an integer. So we need to define integer address type and then give a name of the parameter or whatever you want. So that's how to define a function when you pass the array name. And then over here I can do cout star p to display something there. Also remember that when you define a function, when you call a function and then the function is not defined yet at this moment, then you should give a prototype of the function, prototype of a return type, name of the function, and then parameter type is integer type, and then the parameter name is optional in the function prototype, so we can delete that. So this is a function prototype and function definition. If you don't want to give a function prototype, you need to move this function definition before it is used up here. But give a prototype and then define later is a kind of a professional type. So here, let me compile the program and then let's run it. Then here cout star p is address of the first element. The indirect operator stars only you printed the very first element. But in F1 I wanted to display the entire contents of the array. Then in C++ you need to pass from first element how many elements you want to display. So size of the array, you need to pass that. So prototype, the second parameter is integer type, which is size. Then definition is something like this. Then you can use a for loop. I is 0, I is less than size, and increment that. Then you can display in many different ways. So here point star p and then plus plus p. You can do using pointer arithmetic, you go through that. So let's compile and run it. It runs and displays. Or another way to do so is you can increment the pointer over here. That's the semantic of a for loop. So while you do the loop, you can increment there, compile, and run it. Same result that we get. Or another way to do so is just keep this way, and then using pointer arithmetic, p plus I. So using pointer arithmetic, increment the pointer appropriately, and then use an indirect operator. Compile and run, you get the same result. So one of the primitive feature of a C++ array is that only by the name you only get the address of the first element. So when you need to pass the array, you need to pass the first element's address and the size, so that in other function we can know the size of the array and the like. You may have learned at the beginning level of C++ prior to learning the pointer, we had some different syntax of this one. So instead of a pointer directly, you may have learned this way by give some blank parentheses and then it works. So let me compile and the run. It runs exactly the same way. So this is actually alternative syntax only for a function parameter definition, and this is useful for those who learn the pointer yet, but teaching function parameter to pass the array. But actually, this is a pointer declaration. Is this one. So as after you learn pointer, you will learn the function parameter definition using pointer instead of just a blank square bracket.